S15 at Scudema Circuit, kind of one of my kind of go-to, have fun, play around, and get some seat time in setups.
So you're telling me all of this is like really, really accurate, like almost one-to-one.
Yes. What I tell people is if you can drift my car on my sim, I have no reason to doubt that you would be able to drift my car in real life. Because it's close enough that I use it for practice, and I genuinely think that if you can drift on the sim, you can drift in real life.
Would you say it's like really common among like the pro world that like you're all training on sims?
Nowadays, it's a lot more common. Yeah. When I first started drifting, simulators were seen kind of as a game more than actual practice.
Right.
And I can't really blame them because at the time we didn't really have the hardware and the software that we do now.
Right.
But generally, yeah. I mean, I can't say all the top guys, but most of the top people have a sim at home that they practice with because more sim time is better.
As serious as this with all the electric motor system?
It depends on the person, you know, because like not everybody wants to put crazy money into a sim, and I get it.
Yeah.
But generally, yeah. I mean, a lot of the pro drivers, they do have setups similar to this, if not even more crazy.
Like they'll have a dash here too.
Yeah, a lot of guys get like a little race dash kind of setup, or they get like something that I actually don't prefer is a lot of people have like triple screens.
Right.
I'm not a fan of the triple screens. I don't like having the bezels on the edge of the monitors.
Would you say the projector is any different then? Or like,
the projector's different because it's unbroken, right? So the field of view is completely unbroken.
Right.
With the triples, you get the kind of that one line where the two monitors come together, right? So I prefer having a single monitor the most. Like this kind of ultra wide setup is kind of my go-to. I'm all about getting people from the sim into the real thing. Like that's why I started my sim shop, is because I want to get people into motorsport. And the easiest way to get started is with a sim.
So earlier you've told me that you have clients that never driven a drift car before, and
Yes.
they just do like 1 or 2 sessions.
Yes.
And from there they like actually moved on and like do track days.
Yeah. That's a real thing. That's happened, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because, you know, my whole theory is I use the sim shop as, I mean, for lack of a better word, a sort of gateway drug, right?
Right.
Like you get somebody on the sim, then you get them just to have enough time on the sim that they start to feel confident and start to have fun with it, and then you want to do the real thing, right?
You're sounding like a not very convincing drug dealer, but okay.
Well, I mean, you know, I'm not a drug dealer, so I'm not trying to be convincing, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So, as you know, we're like exporting company.
Yeah.
We're exporting auction cars from Japan to around the world.
Yeah.
And since I know you are a pro driver in California.
Right.
So what brought you here?
So when I was in California, I did a lot of I did motorsports coaching quite frequently. I would teach people how to drive. I'd teach people how to, you know, have fun with their cars, that kind of thing. I did a lot of work on both my own cars, my friends' cars, some customer cars, and I ultimately ended up moving here because ever since I was a little kid, basically, my goal has been to compete in D1. So that kind of brought me here, but obviously you don't get to just move to Japan and drive in D1. That's not really the way it works. So I've got 2 sims here so that we can do a bit of tandem practice between a couple of drivers. Each system has motion because I personally think that having a motion system on a simulator is not necessarily the fastest way around the track. It's not going to make you faster by having motion, but what it does do is it gets you familiar with what the car does in different situations.
Right.
Like when you throw the weight of the car around, because especially in drifting, that's one of the most important things, is knowing how to throw the weight of the car around.
Yeah.
So each of my simulators has a motion system, and then I use real car steering wheels most of the time, because you don't drive with a game steering wheel attached to your real car. A lot of people come from Initial D or Long Gone Midnight Tune, where you hop in and you floor it and you start swinging on the steering wheel and you expect it to do certain things, but you don't do that in a real car.
No, you don't.
So the one thing I try to tell everybody is treat this as if you just rented a car and now you're taking it to the track, because that's what you need to do. Your inputs need to be the same as if you're driving a real car.
As far as I'm aware, you also own imports back home. Would you like to talk about what kind of import that you've owned? Yeah, so probably one of my most popular cars that I had in America was my R32 that I had imported from Japan, and this was before they were really all that common. Is there a year around this?
So I imported my R32 in, I believe when I got it was early to mid 2015.
Okay.
And it was basically right when they started becoming legal for import. And when I registered my car, I took it to the inspections center, whatever you call it, I forget. And the guy said that I think he said I was the fourth person to legally register the R32 in Arizona.
Wow.
So that felt pretty cool. I was like, hey, nice. Like I was kind of early in. And that car definitely didn't stay in R32 for long.
Would you say the process of importing was relatively smooth?
So as far as importing the car, it was pretty easy. As long as you use somebody who's reputable, that knows what they're doing, they can give you all and as long as they can give you all the different papers that you need, all the I forget what they are. They're like the NHTSA stuff, the DOT stuff, the FMVSS stuff. I forget everything.
Yeah.
Whatever all the different papers are. As long as the person can give you all of those papers, and they can actually, as long as they give you all of the stuff so that when you take it to register the car, you don't run into any problems. The process is super simple on a customer side, because you just take the stack of papers you're given, give it to the people, and they go, okay, here you go, and you're on your way. Right, so that was the one thing on my end when I imported my R32s. I did have to go to there was like a specific state center that I had to take it to, which was out of town a little ways, at a place where they just like did the registration for the car. But then I had to go to the actual, they call it the MVD in Arizona, I think.
Right.
And I went there and registered the car officially, because you have to get the car like sort of imported and certified, and then you register it. But that's pretty much it.
Okay.
As long as you have your papers in place, it's pretty simple.
What are your thoughts to all the people online saying that like Nissans aren't reliable?
They're not. they're not.
Would you buy another Nissan though?
I'm actually currently sort of like, I would love to have another Nissan. I would love to have another S13 or a 180. I don't have a problem with the SR20s. I don't have a problem with the RBs. It's just currently they're getting a little bit older, to the point where if you blow up an SR20, replacing an SR20 is a lot more expensive than it should be. I come from a time where I bought my whole R32 after it was imported, after it was registered, after it was insured, everything. In my driveway, ready to drive on the streets, I was in the car about $6,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right, 2015-ish.
Yeah. And it was like, and then I proceeded to dump almost 80 grand into it, but that's a different
story
thing, right? Like, that's just throwing endless money into the car because you use cars to do that.
Let's save the race car chassis hunting for you in a different episode.
Right.
Now.
Right.
So, what do you currently have in Japan then?
Right. So right now I have a 2004 Mazda NB Roadster Coupe, which is
Coupe. Go
yes,
little.
Coupe.
Explain, please.
Okay, so it's an NB Miata, basically, but Mazda made 179 Miatas that were not convertibles. They're actual hardtop coupes, and it's not the conversion kit from, I think it's like Garage Very, and maybe one other company makes like coupe conversion kits. It's not one of those. Yeah, personally, I'm good on the FC. I mean, FC is probably one of my favorite cars of all time, but
I love them. They're the best.
I don't think I could own one at this point because any car I own is going to be a drift car.
Right.
And FCs are getting hard enough to find parts that if I crashed one, I would feel bad about it.
Right.
That's also why my MB is for sale.
That's episode 2. We'll walk around.
Yeah.
And you're hopefully going to sell it through us. So if you're interested, hit us up and we'll help you before you get listed on auction.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully it gets sold before I crash it.
Oh no. So before we finish, I can see some nice trophies here.
Yeah.
What are
I got
those?
a couple of those. So that's actually every single time I've entered my NB in the competition, I have managed to win. I don't know how that's happened.
The one that's for sale?
Yeah, the one that's for sale, with more information on that coming soon. But every single time I've entered a competition, I managed to take a trophy or two. So the two in the back were from the same competition. I won top qualifier. This was the Tsukudama Circuit Drift Performance Challenge.
Right.
I won top qualifier and the overall tandem battles, and then the one just recently in March of this year, I won first place for the tandem battles. I didn't get the qualifier though. A friend of mine got that instead.
Okay, so before we finish, anything else you want to say? Like, what's your Instagram or?
Yeah, so if you guys want to follow me, you guys can check me out at SLiguykyle. It's been around for a while. It's an old screen name. And you guys can check out my shop at KC Kinetica. I basically tend to post more of my drifting stuff, my own personal stuff that I do. I post that on my personal Instagram, and then I post anything store related on our on the KC Kinetica page. So
thank you for being on our channel.
Yeah, always happy to hang out, talk about cars. It's always a good time.
Okay, and I'll see you in the next video, I guess.
Yeah, see you soon.
I got so busy, almost forgot to film the outro, so thanks everyone for watching today's video. It's more of an interview type content. I'm just trying it out. And yeah, feel free to hit up Kyle and hit us up if you want to import or export a vehicle to your home country, because that's what we do. And get into sim racing, because that way you'll ensure that you're able to hone your skills and not crash your brand new purchased dream car. And yeah, I'll see you next one.